So, good morning everyone.
Good morning, sir!
So, I hope na pinanood mo yung report na ginawa naman, especially So, my topic is all about the multiple choice items, the guidelines for effectively creating a multiple choice question. So, I have the assignment with us. So, I have given you an assignment with us sa video. So, I want you to please pass it first before we proceed to our discussion.
Sarah?
Okay na? So, as I recall, what are the 7 guidelines in effectively creating a multiple choice item? And last. Yes, Mr. Paolo?
Rule number 1 is to write this down in a clearly described question or task.
Thank you. Another. Number 2. Yes, Mr.
Avoid using negatives in the snap.
Okay, thank you. Another one.
Write
We
the
are
correct
ready to indicate dito.
Yes, sir. Naman.
Okay, thank you. Dito naman na side. Nasa dito. Yes.
No. Avoid using all of the above.
Okay, that's rule number 6. Yes.
Do not use verbatim correctness.
Okay, ito naman, ang tahimik nyo dito, Miss di manalata.
Write correct and no irrelevant. Write correct and no irrelevant.
Okay, write correct response. Stem, write correct stem. With no relevant clues, yes. Meron pang isa. Okay.
Write the distraction to be closable with the top.
Yes. Another one, may isa pa. Hindi pa nabanggit yun. Yung pinaka-ulit.
Write the stem as clearly described question and task.
Okay na.
Yes. The last one.
Yes.
Use a alternative as the correct answer about multiple
So yeah, thank you class for those. Those are the 7 guidelines for creating a multiple choice question. So now let's proceed to the first guideline, which is write the STEM as clearly described question or task. Can you give me your ideas or what you have learned in my presentation last, if you have really watched that? Just give me your brief ideas or short descriptions or explanations. Anyone? Okay, go, George. Okay, so another? Yes, Mr. Rudai?
I think for me the question must be well structured so that there is no any confusion to our
Okay,
students.
thank you. Good point. Another here. More ideas. Miss Russell.
Make a possible problem question that is aligned with the content of the topic.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So kanina, they have mentioned, Mr. Dan mentioned, complete STEM as a complete, and also it should be used, create a complete STEM and a short responses. So my question is the general rule applicable to testing the knowledge of the student in terms of definitions or vocabulary? What Miss Marjana mentioned earlier was that's the general rule. You need to create or make a complete step and short responses. Because you need to, as much as possible, the step should stand as a clearly defined task or a question. So the question is that, an idea, or should I rephrase the question? Okay, so, applicable ba yung general rule na use the complete step and short responses kung ang gusto mong i-test ngayon is ang type ng iyong ang gusto mong i-test is yung kaalaman ng mga bata in terms sa definitions or mga vocabulary. So, masabi mo ang applicable ba ang paggamit ng general rule na yun kung magawa ka ng multiple choice item? Anyone? Yes, Luana. Okay, Luana. Go, Luana. Go, Luana. Sorry.
So, based on their report that in terms of destination and vocabulary, I think yes. The question is STEM. The STEM is properly construct and the response is short kasi repetition and vocabulary lang yung mean.
So, yes, actually, it is an exception. If you want to test yung definition or vocabulary, the rule is exempted siya sa rule kasi kinakailangan dapat, under kasi ng rule, sinasabi doon na kailangan mo maglagay ng mga words na yun. Halimbawa, if you are going to define an antonyms or synonyms, di ba may nilalagay ng word doon? Under kasi sa rule, hindi mo dapat i-include yun kasi that would lead to as a clue. So, exception ang paggamit ng general rule sa definition.
Yes.
Next one, the second rule natin. So, if you have really understood it, do you think that in all cases, it is required to avoid using negatives in the STEM? Yes, Jana. Why no?
May naalala ko na you can use negatives, but you have to emphasize it to avoid the confusion for the students.
That's precisely the answer. Yeah. That in all cases, especially if knowing what not to do is important, na gusto mong alamin. So, you can use negatives as long as you boldface or highlight the negative in the STEM. Then, in the third guidelines, why do you think it is important to avoid providing clues in the STEM or the question of a multiple choice item? Ito yung number 3, write the correct response with no irrelevant clues. Which is, sasabi na kanina in the previous discussion yung sagot actually. We have bakit kailangan natin iwasan mag-provide ng clues? Yes, Sandra.
Kasi sa pag-provide ng clues, like for example, yung sa question mo, masyadong maraming clues about mas madali na masagot. So, hindi sila lower level thinking lang yung mag-measure ng features, so wala siya sa high level.
Thank you for the feedback. Yes, kasi what will happen is, instead na ang itest mo is yung knowledge talaga ng mga bata na aligned din doon sa tanong mo, sa purpose mo, na iwa mo yung multiple choice items. What happened is, yung lags ang iyong natitest or ang nangyari is nagkakaroon sila lang, mag-rely na silang, yes, mag-rely na sila dun sa clue at the same time may other basis na sila. Instead, dapat ang basis nila is their knowledge. That's for the guideline number 3. Now, in number 4, do not use verbatim correct responses. So, how important is to avoid using verbatim correct responses or alternatives in creating a multiple choice item? Verbatim is the use of words na galing mismo sa libro or kung saan siya originally gamit. Tapos, igalagay mo siya as part of the as your alternatives. Alternatives, ito yung correct answer at yung distractors na sinasabi kanina ni Miss Nikki. That's alternatives. Yeah. So what do you think is the implication of that? If ginuha mo galing mo sa libro, instead na ibahin mo siya, what would be the implication? Yes, Ms. Roswell. Hindi ko masaya.
May process yung comprehension ng student mo. If na-learn niya talaga yung what if memorize niya lang yung
So what will happen is, it is important na i-paraphrase natin yung use of words natin sa alternatives or based on our own words para naman hindi yes, at the same time yung comprehension ng mga bata is matest talaga natin. We move beyond recalling yung knowledge into comprehension by changing the wording. Next one is, dito tayo mas mag-focus talaga. So, guideline number 5, write the distractors to be plausible yet wrong. So, how can we make students effectively discriminate the possible answers they think are correct in a multiple choice item? Should I rephrase the question? Okay. What are the ways that we can enable the student to discriminate. Ibig sabihin, to effectively discriminate would mean na yung mapapaisip yung mga bata na ano ba, this multiple choice item or yung kanyang alternatives ay effectively masabi na, ay, dito siya ang tamang sagot, ay, dito siya ang tamang sagot. Kakaroon ng elimination, elimination method application in doon sa mga tingin niya na tamang sagot doon sa multiple item.
I think when creating alternatives and structures for us. So when creating the structures, dapat connected siya or within lang siya sa topic na parang related din siya sa mismong answer or alternative talaga. In that way, mas mapag-isipan talaga ng students kung ano talaga yung answers. Kasi for example, kung yung sa video mo na cities, biggest city and USA, di ba? So, if mag-include ka doon ng cities na hindi naman talaga from USA, so parang meron silang idea na dito. Parang hindi na sila makapag-conceptualize na makapag ano talaga yun.
Okay, so thank you. So yeah, that's one way of so basically what Mr. Benny is saying is that that's one way on how to make a good distractor. Kasi apat yan eh. The first one was already been discussed by Ma'am Jean and Miss Nikki kanina, which is you identify first the common misconceptions that the students are displaying during your discussion. So in that idea pa lang, you can grasp up now, or you can create rather, a multiple choice item na kung saan ang iyong distractors are based doon sa kanilang mga misconception. Pangalawa is yes, tama yung sabi ni Mr. Paulo is you need to associate yung ginagamit mong words sa iyong distractors or sa alternative rather doon mismo sa iyong STEM. So the country United States, so what are the cities present in the United States? Then ang nangyari, ang nilagay mong mga distractors is mga countries, halimbawa galing sa Pilipinas. Then naku po, paano yan kung galing sa Pilipinas? Tapos highlight masyado na si Michigan lang ang nasa US. So basically, tama yung sabi ni Mr. Paulo, hindi matest ang comprehension ng mga bata. What will happen is, matetest ang kanilang reasoning skills, not their comprehension. So pangalawa na yun. The third one is, you need to, yung length at yung complexity ng STEM ng iyong distractors are equal to your STEM. Ibig sabihin, kung complex man yung severity ng iyong STEM, dapat as much as possible, complex din yung iyong mga distractors at the same time yung length. Kasi obviously, yung obvious na sagot ay mahaba, sobrang haba. So, hindi mo matest na naman ulit ang comprehension ng mga bata. And lastly, you use yung qualifiers. Qualifiers such as the word generally and usually, not yung mga words na always, never, wag yun. Much better lang gamitin natin ng mga qualifiers is yung generally or usually kasi that would, yung idea ulit na matetest ang comprehension ng bata about the topic or the item actually. So, did you get guys nakuha yung ideas? So, it is important for us to create a distractor na kung saan plausible yet wrong. Ibig sabihin ng plausible, believable. Ano siya? Believable pero totoo naman pala, mali siya.
Lakshik. Yes.
So, next one is ito. In the next guideline, avoid using yung phrases na special distractors na all of the above and none of the above. So, why do we need to consider this guideline? What do you think are the possible implications if it is not followed? Will I rephrase the question again? Okay po. So, rephrasing it, this would pertain dun sa ano kaya ang magiging dahilan o ano magiging outcome niya if always natin ginagamit ito siya ng mga distractors. Like, if you really understood ano bang indication ng all of the above, none of the above, and yung ating mga combinations ng mga letters na nilalagay sa isang lang distractor. And equal. Kim. Yes, now, any idea? It's not an ano naman. Go, your idea, what do you think? Kasi when we use all of the above, we pertain that dapat correct yung answers lahat. You can use all of the above. But the problem is, some of the students will answer agad-agad the first one. So, ang mangyari, hindi niya pa binasa ang sunod ng mga distractors. Kaya, hindi siya like advisable na gamitin or you just avoid using all of the above. Then, none of the above naman is similar with the rule number 2. The idea there is that gagamitin mo lang si none of the above kapag mahalaga na kapag knowing what not to do is important. Saying natin sa idea. Then, special distractors. Halimbawa, letter D, A and B but not C. Letter E, C and B but not D. So, we need to also to avoid that. Bakit? Ano ang reason? Ano ang idea na maalanin? Like, ano siya? Ano magiging implication niya?
Para ma-avoid ang guessing ng mga, para hindi mag-guessing ang mga students.
So yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's a good point. Ma-avoid yung guessing. At the same time kasi, ang mangyayari niyan, we are measuring kung ganun ang mangyayari. Ang gina-measure natin is yung reasoning ng mga bata. Hindi na yung knowledge na gusto natin i-measure. Yun lang, sa guideline number 6. Last one is, ito, the guideline number 7. Why do we use, okay, so sabi dito, use each alternative as the correct answer about the same number of times. So, yung number of items mo, kunwari 4 na multiple choices ang ginagamit mo, ibig sabihin yan, each of the item dapat should have 25% na present na correct answers doon sa overall item mo. So, ibig sabihin mo, 50 items yan, 25% is letter A, B, C, and D ang dapat na present sa doon. Then, the reason is that we avoid guessing. To avoid guessing. Now, the question is, ito, why do we use 4 possible choices in a multiple choice item instead of just 3 or 2? Which, nasagot ko na actually. Nasabi ko na ang sagot actually.
Okay.
Yeah, why do we use 4 possible choices or in the multiple choice item instead of just using only 3 or 2? Anyone? Ito. Uy, nakasagot. Bakit? Nangyari?
Magtawag ng kahit na hindi nagtataas naman.
Ano? Yes.
So, hindi advisable na if 2 or 3 lang ang gamitin na choices sa question kay para ma-avoid ang guessing sa mga student and para di ma-avoid ang guessing ng students. Para ma-measure mo talaga yung if naiintindihan niya yung concept ng question.
So, actually, his answer is correct. To avoid, basically, guessing. Kasi as much as possible, 25% will be distributed equally ang chances na choose mo ito particular na alternative. So, yes.
Ilan ba ang chance for guessing ng 3 option multiple choice?
33%.
Alright, so mas mataas ang chance for guessing sa tatlo lang na multiple choice. May kinalaman ba yan dun sa all of the above na option?
Pwede natin siyang na may siya kasi pwedeng mag-ano na lang ang bata na mag-rely na lang na okay, all of the above ang sagot. Bilugan na lang natin siya kasi sa tingin niya, based on his comprehension na din, natama yung mga sagot na yun. Yes, ganun.
Okay, ano bang kailangan mo sa all of the above? Makita mo lang may 2 tamang sagot, kahit hindi mo nabasahin yung pangatlo, mag-all of the above ka na. Diba? Kasi may 2 tama na, so alam naman yung A lang yung sagot mo. So malamang tama na rin yung pangatlo, hindi mag-all of the above na. So mataas ang chance for guessing kapag na lagay ka ng all of the above as correct answer. How about if you write it as an incorrect? Incorrect option ang all of the above. Okay lang?
No, kasi first understanding naman kung kung ilagay mo na wrong ang answer mo, then malabag yung idea na, bakit ka pa naglagay ng all of the above, kung lahat naman ng sagot ay mali. So,
Hindi, may isang tamang sagot. Pero hindi all of the above.
Hindi all of the above ang answer.
may isang sagot na all of the
Oo.
above. Ito. Ulit po, sorry ma'am.
Gumamit ka ng all of the above, pero hindi yun ang tamang sagot. So, okay lang ba?
May isa talagang answer.
Okay lang.
For me, hindi po. Kasi,
O, sige daw, be. May idea
Yeah.
sila dito.
go po. Sige. Sige, open your ideas.
Ano, okay lang po pang-distractor, pero siya distractor ang all of the above. Tamang answers is
Okay.
Ay, sorry.
Alright, mas babasahin ng estudyante yung lahat ng options, di ba? Kapag may all of the above ka na hindi sagot. Alright, pero kapag alam na ng estudyante yung technique mo, hindi niya na isasagot ang all of the above, so wala ka rin. So, iwasan pa rin natin.
So, yes po, to sum it up, it is important for us to sana you use this guideline as a checklist when we are going to create na our very own multiple choice questions in the future time. At the same time, especially we need to emphasize on creating distractors that are plausible yet wrong. Also, we must not put emphasis na if one of the alternative or distractor is sobrang haba, you're putting clues na. It is important na huwag tayo masyado magbigay ng clues if we really want to test the comprehension of the students. And that's it for my report. May assignment po. I'm sorry, I have an assignment for you guys. This is part of my objective, so I'm sorry. So ito lang. Yan. Please, picturean nyo na lang. So in a 1/2 sheet of paper, I want you to create at least 3 multiple choice items. Now, use the guidelines that we have tackled as your basis in creating one. And yes, this is due next meeting or next report.
Okay, wait lang. Sige, gawin ninyo ito kasi papagawan ko din kayo. Dagdagan ko yung instructions, ha? May answer. Alright. It should be based on one objective only. As much as possible, objective na related sa topic mo, ang panggagalingan ng tanong, ha? Objective na related sa topic mo, ang panggagalingan ng tanong. So you write down the objective and then your questions. Tatlo man daw, sabi ni Sir Cyril. Tatlo. Padre. Okay, sige, ganito na lang class para fair tayo. Kasi baka yung iba sa inyo, puro remembering ang multiple choice ninyo. Magbibigay ko ba ulit? Magbibigay ka din ba ng task sa kanila na related? Okay, sige. Ganito na lang class. Baguhin natin ng konti, Sir Cyril. Based na lang sa dalawang objectives ninyo. Yung isa remember objective, yung isa naman ay beyond remember. Take 2 items each. Okay lang yan? So 4 items in total. I think kaya lang, no? Kaya lang. Alright, so write the objective. Baka hindi magkasya sa 1/2. Okay, magkasya na eh. Write the objective and then the multiple choice items na dalawa sa isang objective and another sa isang objective. So, 4 na items ito. Sir Cyril, siguro bigyan mo na lang sila ng time Wednesday next week na lang para kasi dinagdagan natin, ha? Alright, para hindi naman masyadong hectic ang content. Yes. Alright, let me just add, we're talking about ano na nga ulit na ibig sabihin ng plausible ang distractor? Plausible means believable. So, dapat ang distractor obviously wrong or not? It shouldn't be obviously wrong. May mga distractors kasi class na kahit hindi ka nag-aral, alam mong mali yan. So, dapat,